we had some wrong information then.
Yeah, but you can always
We
ask
put
me.
the
I'll give you the right
information,
information.
I was gonna call you, but I said I'd wait till the day. So Sunday is the last of their everything.
Well, they're gonna be some tweaking and they gotta go over, everybody gotta sign off. which
Where
is
are they
what I want.
meeting Sunday?
Sunday at the Skillman Foundation, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
And you were there at 3 o'clock, and you said no DEC, because that's what they're gonna, Detroit, Education Commission, which is that in there, then they will get the point.
And not only that, but
That's the main thing that they have.
What's the real address, so I can have everything right?
Skillman,
What is the real address?
The street address.
oh, I don't know the street
They done
address.
gave me so many different.
Skillman is right at the river, you know where Roberts River Walk, right around the
Yeah.
corner. You know where I think it was Rhinoceros, it used to be called Rhinoceros, that restaurant right
The
there?
rhinoceros. Oh
Right
my
there,
God.
right there. The other building that's closer to the river, in there.
Will you be there, Lamar?
I will be there at 3 o'clock.
And everybody's supposed to be there.
Yeah, I have to leave early because I'm going to another meeting, but I'll be there till 3 to 5. I'll be there to cast my vote.
You
None
said
of
you
us
have
do
the addresses of people on the commission.
Don't pick my house.
How many of them would you say live in Detroit?
at least half of them don't live in Detroit.
Don't live in?
No, I have the list here. Most of them don't.
Oh,
Village, all of them. They don't.
And in the literature, it says they live in Metro Detroit.
Yeah.
Illich is not far.
Some of them in Beverly Hills, and you name it.
Roy Roberts on there, right?
Roy Roberts has not come to any meeting. Roy Roberts is angry because he was duped. Through this whole process, he was duped. And
Well,
that's
he
all.
should have, we told him he was duped and he still went along with it, got the money.
Hey, he got paid,
Then
though,
he started
didn't he?
crying about it.
That's what they all doing, getting paid.
But he was
Ms. Ryder?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up very briefly with the report. When Helen asked us, when we were at the last board meeting, if we would attend the coalition meeting on Sunday after we found out it was going to be on Sunday instead of Tuesday, and help to deliver letters expressing the board's position and the position of the Education Task Force on our rights to governance and our opposition to the coalition in any form. When I got there, they called the police. When I got into the Skillman building, I was approached by Tanya Allen and told that this was a private meeting and I could not be in there. The president of the Michigan Federation of Teachers, Dave Hecker, ushered a group of people together in one room. It was just me. They hadn't arrived yet, and I went inside. They absolutely panicked at my presence there. Lamar wasn't there yet. Sherry wasn't there yet. Nobody was there yet. When I walked in, and Tanya Allen looked at me, she absolutely approached me and put her hands on me and said, "You cannot be here." And I just calmly said, "I'm waiting for the other members who are going to be here to help deliver some letters." She said, "I will call security." And she called security, but Hecker ushered all the people, there must have been 50 people in the room, out with their chairs to another room. They were terrified of my presence as one board member. When I did show up in that room, when I did get into that room, they moved all the members of the coalition. None of the members of the coalition would even look at me. If I was a member of a body that was being ushered out, I would at least wonder who it is that I'm supposed to be afraid of and what it is. They are so completely brainwashed against this elected board that they absolutely followed them like sheep out of that room. Then they called the police on me. When the police got there, they were utterly confused. They walked up to me and asked me what the problem was, and I said, "Our schools have been stolen." The guards and the police stood around in the hallway. Sherry came in. Helen was able to deliver the letters into the room. By that time, members of National Action Network were in there. Other people were in there. And we all went in together, but some gentleman walked up and put his hands on me and then threatened to take my phone because I was taking pictures. The best part of the day was Angie Reyes, the only Hispanic member of the coalition, I'm sure, except Inez, who would never, ever confront me. But Angie was actually sent out, three. Angie was sent out to tell me that I had to leave the room. When I asked her if she was volunteering to remove me or if they asked her to remove me because we were the only two in the room. She said, I'm not gonna remove you. She deigned to not physically remove me. I said, I'm an elected member of this body. We're subject to the Open Meetings Act, but this is a secret meeting. And she said, yes, this is a secret meeting and you can't be in here. Following that, I went back into my own community and I wrote a letter to the Coalition of Hispanic Agencies, of which Angie's agency, the Detroit Hispanic, whatever it is called, Detroit Hispanic Development, and I asked the leadership of the community to meet with me so that I could express my concerns about a member of our own community escorting me out of a meeting, either being put up as a token or volunteering as a token to be removed. The community has agreed to have that meeting with me. Following that, I asked to have a true State of the Schools address at LACED, our own Latin Americans for Social and Economic Development. I have to tell you, the leadership in our community got scared when they said, to say true state is actually too political. The word true was too political. They were actually afraid of that because, why? Because Skillman wields so much power among all the nonprofits. We only have 5 Latino agencies, almost none of them have any money left, and they're terrified of Skillman. But they actually agreed to let us in the Education Task Force hold a teach-in on April the 21st to give the update of what the actual situation is in our schools and not what they read in the paper, and for us to be able to, as board members, express what has happened in these 5 years that I've been representing District 2. We hope that each of the districts are also going to hold a similar session in our communities. I say that to say that we have been ignoring the takeover of the board by these various institutions, but when one person showed up, one person, and I don't look very threatening, they were terrified. We do not need to be afraid of them, they need to be afraid of us. And I'm saying to you, we need to go anywhere where they're telling us that we can't go. We need to go in when they tell us that it's a closed meeting. They held it down at Skillman. Skillman is like a fort. And all the security guards that came, they didn't know what to make of it. They're removing elected people so that these non-elected people can hold a secret meeting about our schools so that we can have more situations like kids found in the freezers. We have got to take back our schools, and we can't do it by resolution. We can't do it by meetings. We can't do it by asking for permission. We have to be able to go and block them physically from taking any more from us.
Thank you, Member Harada.
Didn't
Oh,
do
I'm
her
sorry,
report.
forgive me. Juana, go right ahead.
First, I want to take the time to welcome all the members in our audience from Missouri. Just want to say hello.
Who's from Missouri?
That whole group.
Thank you for
The University of Missouri.
University of Missouri. Go ahead, University of Missouri. At the end. I've been in Chicago for a couple of reasons. I've been there for 3 days now. And we went down, we took the advisory group to Davis Aerospace, Detroit Life Coalition, and the Detroit Educational Task Force on a listening tour for sustainable schools in Chicago. Chicago was successful in adopting or going through the 5th option. The 5th option, we have 5 options to obtain federal money for school districts, and the 5th option was just recently added because of the push from the Chicago public school system. And the 5th option allows community groups to apply for the federally funded money that normally school districts get. They have to go through the same procedures that the district does, and it was a little different there for them because they're not working under emergency manager. So but the mayor governs their school, so they did have a little pushback, and they were able to push the mayor into doing it because it's election time.
Chewy.
Right. I got my chewy side.
Yeah, it's a strong election.
We took a group of advisory people there. They were able to see a world-class, what they call world-class high school. It's not too much different from some of our bigger high schools here, but it was something big there for Chicago, and even bigger because the parents there decides who the principal is, and they get to hire 4 or 5 teachers along with that funding. Then after that, there was a rally held in front of City Hall, and it was over 1,000 people present, and they talked about having an elected school board, because Chicago school boards are appointed by the mayor. So they're pushing to get an elected school board and 50 additional sustainable schools. They invited people from all over the country to come speak and to share their stories so that people in Chicago will understand that some of the same issues we're having in Detroit, they're having in Chicago, they're having in Pennsylvania, they're having in New York, they're having in Newark, and Kill Michael, Mississippi.
I know that's right.
I had an opportunity to speak and represent our board.
Thank you.
Thank you much. You were a good representative for us too.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Did
that.
my best.
Appreciate it.
I think Tawana is a little bashful here because I heard, since you and I talked, that her presentation went extremely well, very, very well, and that people have learned a lot. So, yeah, I understand that it went extremely well. She represented us, which of course we knew she would represent us very well.
Thanks again.